You have a wife, girlfriend? Whoever she is, I'm gonna find her.
And then I'm gonna kill you right in front of her.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to be wrapping up the Mission Impossible trilogy with reviewing Mission Impossible 3. Granted, that's not the last one in the series, it's just the last one that I've watched recently that I can review. But we're going to jump right into reviewing Mission Impossible 3 today. And as usual, I'm going to start with the content review, and then we're going to jump right into my thoughts of the film. So for the content portion of this review, there is a lot to unpack here. This Mission Impossible film, compared to its predecessors, it's pretty dark. It's got a lot of darker themes than the other two that have come out to that time. It was Mission Impossible and then Mission Impossible 2, and then this one came out. So anything before this wasn't as dark and it wasn't as gruesome. It also wasn't as personal for Ethan Hunt, because as I'll explain later, this is probably Ethan Hunt's most dangerous mission that affects him personally at a scale that not many people have experience with. But jumping into violent content, there's quite a lot of violence throughout this film. We see explosive charges put in people's heads that explode their brains. We see gunshot fire like normal. We've got a lot of blood, as well as some other things. Fist fights are seen a lot. Some people are electrocuted. So yeah, there's quite a lot of violence, and it's crazy. There's also this scene on top of a bridge where aircraft is firing missiles down at civilians and Ethan and his team, and people are just being jerked around with the explosions. It's pretty dark how the violence is in here. It's really it just is really PG-13. It deserves a rating just for the violence alone, because it can get to be that bad at certain points. So definitely keep that in mind if you plan to watch this film. If you go over to suggestive content, so in this film, Ethan Hunt gets married to his love of his life, but she doesn't know anything about him being part of the IMF, so he's got to kind of struggle to keep that a secret from her. But we do see in a few scenes, like, they get married. I mean, at the beginning of the film, we see them in bed together after their engagement party that Ethan Hunt was at the beginning of the film. And we see them in bed together. He's shirtless and she's covered up with sheets. But it's intended that they sleep together. Later on, they do get married, and people are constantly asking Ethan if he has slept with her, because they don't approve of it, because it's a bad idea for a secret agent to get married to a civilian. But nevertheless, he gets married to her, and then we do see a scene where they are implied to be sleeping together. We don't see any nudity, though, other than Tom Cruise, of course, always has his shirt off, but that's nothing to be too crazy about if you've seen all the other Mission Impossible films. So if you move over to drug and alcohol content, we do see some drinking and champagne at the house party with the engagement party. We do see a cigarette be lit and being smoked by one character, but that's really all we see for drug and alcohol content. Not too much in there to really be worried about. But if we go over to the foul language in here, there's quite a lot, I gotta admit. We got a bunch, but I'm gonna try to break down a little bit real quick for you. There's like 2 A words, the SOB is used twice, there's about 5 D words, the H word's used about 14, 15, 16 times, so that's pretty crazy. And the S word is used about 4 times, and the Lord's name is misused at least 11 times, maybe even more. So there's quite a lot of language. This one had a lot more language than some of the more recent Mission Impossible films, which kind of surprised me, but at the same time, you gotta just keep in mind that the ones that have come out recently have been out. These films that have been just released have been out for quite a while. This one came out in 2006, so it's nearly been almost 20 years. Give it 3 more years. 17 years since this film has come out. So things have changed. So if we're going to move over now into my review of this film.
Welcome back, brother.
So let's just get started on what I think this film ranks as of stunts, because everyone goes to the Mission Impossible film for stunts. The big stunts that Ethan Hunt does in this is he climbs that wall, he climbs a wall in one scene, and then we also see him swing from 2 buildings in Shanghai, and then we also see him get exploded by a missile explodes near him and shoots him right into crashing into the side of a car. Cables were probably used to pull him like that and jerk him, but it looked like it hurt. Those were the major stunts in this film. I gotta say they aren't the best. They're kind of weak. Swinging from building to building, while the fact that he actually did it is pretty cool, audiences see that all the time with Spider-Man. So I don't think that really helped their case with the stunts. Knowing that Tom Cruise actually did it is one thing, but not everybody knows that. So the stunts in this film were okay. If you move over to just the mission in general, the real mission is to find the rabbit's foot, which is this unknown biological weapon that the enemy wants. And the enemy had Ethan's wife, so Ethan is determined to find the rabbit's foot and give it to the enemy, track it, get it back, but get his wife back in the process. So this is most definitely Ethan's most personal mission, because he's got stakes in here. Outside of saving the world, Ethan Hunt has to save his wife, who has no idea what's going on, and he needs to save her before they kill her, because he's given like 48 hours to find the rabbit's foot, and then they're going to kill her. So you can definitely see the tension with Ethan Hunt trying to live a normal life, wants to get back to that, but at the same time realizes he's needed on the field to be able to save people, and it's just crazy how much emotion that Ethan Hunt has to go through. So I really think that part of the film was really good. To be able to see. I enjoy being able to see Ethan Hunt get married. He wants to be happy. He wants to move on from the IMF. But at the same time, he stays because he knows that he's needed. So that's a good thing to see as it leads up to Ghost Protocol. If you move over to the other characters, it's great to have Luther back in, as well as they've got a couple of rotating new characters that have come in. I can't remember their names, but we do have the introduction of Benji Dunn, which is really good because he's a major character going forward from Mission Impossible 3, because you see him in every film, even up to Dead Reckoning so far. So it's important to be able to see where he starts off, as he starts off kind of as just like the nerd in the lab, but eventually he's going to become a vital part of the Mission Impossible franchise. So really great to be able to see that introduction as well. So I really did like this film. I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10 overall. And it's not a bad Mission Impossible film. There could have been some things that they did better. They could have chosen a different stunt that would be a little bit more dangerous and kind of live up to par with some of the stunts that we see in these Mission Impossible films. Granted, Tom Cruise is always trying to do better and better with his stunts, but these just ranked pretty low on my list. But they aren't terrible. I mean, there's definitely stuff I would never do.